This is Dustin Hembury with Diesel Discussion here with Steve Darnell from Welderup. How you doing today?
Good, Dustin. What's up, buddy?
It's a nice sunshiny day out here at UCC 2019.
I know, it's been awesome too, man.
It's kind of winding down right now. It's a sled pull day. A lot of people are over at the sled pull track.
Seen a pretty cool truck blow up on the dyno yesterday.
Yeah, we've got quite a few blow ups.
Yeah,
we've seen.
Yeah. How did your guys' truck do yesterday?
We had a couple problems with it. We did do 2,200 horsepower, but we weren't
22?
looking. Yeah, we weren't looking for that number. We were looking for a lot higher number for sure.
You know what sucks is when you reach a number. What did Baca's truck do? 26 or?
Baca's current record on there is 2571.
So yeah, almost 26. So. Yeah. You know, when you come in and you do 22.
Yeah, it's a disappointment for sure.
Yeah.
We know what was wrong. We remedied it for today for the sled pull. We've completely changed the truck, so that's pretty exciting, and hope to have a good pull. We've got a couple other trucks that had a rough day, but overall we're sitting third, so we're in a pretty good position for the overall win with Sean's truck.
That's good. Truck looks good. Sounds good.
So what did you guys bring out here today?
Well, we brought the swamp ass truck, and we brought the D-Rod out.
Nice.
With of course, you know, we have the industrial pump, turbos, injectors in the swamp ass, and then an industrial motor in the D-Rod that's been.
Yeah, it's been through the ringer for sure. We built that. What would it be, about 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
It's probably been all of 5 years ago.
We originally did it green, and that was the first season of Welderup, or Vegas Rat Rods, and I remember me and Brett going down there, dropping that off the very first time and being on TV.
Yeah.
Brett was all nervous. And
I remember that. Yeah, he does not like that. He does not like that. I was out here with the camera yesterday, and he's like, "Dude, your camera's just always following you? I can't even talk to you right now." I'm like, "No, they're not rolling. Come on, let's talk."
But that was one of the funnest experiences. We dropped that off and seen your guys' first shop there, and
hey, you know what? It was funny because you know how this all started.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, I started building a rat rod in a tent, me and Justin, probably, God, it's had to have been 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, it was at least that. Before you get into that, well, let's give a little background. So about 8-10 years ago, I went up to a show in Montana, and we were getting ready to race and everything, and I'm talking 10 seconds was a fast pass down the track in any diesel truck. And they announced Steve Darnell, he's going to take this. Well, I hear this tractor sounding thing coming through the pits, and he's going to race it down the track. And it's like, what a piece of shit junk thing, you know. And I didn't pay too much attention to it until I hear him go down the track the first time, and I'm like, wow, that sounded pretty healthy. And I think he clicked off an 11 or 12 or something like that, and then I just see you go round after round,
we ran it
10, 11, 10, 11, 10, 11 all day long, and I'm like, wow, that thing goes pretty dang good. And
we fried it that day.
But you know, come to find out, you know, it's just a junkyard build motor that you had laying around, threw some parts at it and put it together, and I think we kind of started talking from that day forward. And then a year or so later, you were down in Vegas with Red Rock Hotel or one of them.
Harley Davidson. Red Rock
and then you can go from there. Like,
well, I think at that point, that's when I called Brad over at G&J Diesel, and I was like, "Hey man, I need a couple of turbos for this build and maybe some parts." So I think at that point, I got on the phone with Brett.
Yeah, I remember sitting in the office when you called and told them the whole spiel of what you were planning on doing.
This is what I'm doing. Could I, maybe get some turbos? And he's like, no problem.
Yeah.
So you guys sent me turbos.
And what was
injectors.
The build? What was the plan? You were building Little Joe.
I was building a Little Joe truck. It's a 4-cylinder Cummins diesel in a 32 Ford truck. It was built in a parking lot that we set up with a tent for 5 weeks. The driveway was sloped. Every time you drop a socket, it'd roll out the tent. I mean, it was miserable. I bought all my tools on Craigslist. And so anyway, everybody in the diesel industry really kind of pulled, like Brad from Fast brought me a fast pump. I mean, he literally drove it in with his semi-truck. He dropped the fast pump off. We had, you know, industrial, Hamilton Cams send us a camshaft. The diesel industry really just
got
like the love that I
yeah,
never knew.
yeah.
I never knew, like, you deal with a lot of people in the world, but this diesel world in itself, even though there's a lot of competitors, they all still love each other.
Right,
There's a lot of good love out here. So anyway, we got a lot of cool stuff, and from that point forward, it just seems like, you know, we the relationship you and me have is super freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like at some point we became like a family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
yeah, I mean, I've stayed in your house. And,
yeah, dude.
You know, like we've
been on trips together.
Yeah, for sure.
You've been in my shop.
Yeah.
You've been on TV. I don't know how many times dropping motors off.
Yeah, it's been quite the ride. It's been really awesome watching the evolution. One time, so go back 5 years. We built the D-Rod. The engine that was in it was kind of tired. You've had it in there for a while. You said, hey, I want it. We're on TV now. We're doing this. We need to build something big for this car.
Yeah.
So we put together one of our race 12-valve engines, put it in there. It'd be about 5 years ago, I'd say, when you were first starting. Took it down there. It was lime green. Everybody remembers the first episodes of that, and Gator's truck. We did those, and we put that engine in. And you beat it up for a couple years there, and then you decided to redo the D-Rod to the Destroyer. And I remember him telling me that, and I was totally against it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, man, that's the iconic flagship, and you know, it's been the same forever. And you told me a story about a car that you followed, not necessarily as a kid growing up, but a magazine ad. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah,
but
it really was. It was the Project X 57 Chevy.
Yeah, and every year they were changing it or doing all this stuff, and I thought, you know, that's an innovator. You know, to me, I was thinking, you know, how could you take that flagship car and then, but you made it better. You know, you made it, and you dedicated it, and it's just an awesome build, and so we literally took that motor from the D-Rod. On TV, it looks like a whole new motor, but we took it back to our shop, redid it, painted it a different color. We tore it apart, checked it out, didn't change the pistons, no bearings in it, nothing. I think we may have put a head gasket. I don't even think we put a head gasket on. I don't think the head even came off.
We did mill the head.
I can't remember what we did.
We did do a different head, but we might have put a head gasket
in it. Oh yeah, because we did the big intake on it.
We did the big intake on it.
We put the big intake.
Bigger turbos on it.
Yeah, made it. We wanted to go bigger battery. You're going to start racing it again, and so that was 2 years ago or something like that, a year and a half ago, and
it's been
put that in.
It's been probably 3 years.
And in between all this, he's out in the dry lake beds. And after I get this beautiful motor done, I watch on YouTube and Facebook, and all I can see is this car doing donuts after donuts after donuts out in this dry lake bed. You can't even see the car. It's just a dust pile. The air filter is just,
at some point it sounds
collapsed and melted in.
It sounds like a machine that you can't see in the dirt. Like it's like you can hear it, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
But that mite dust, that little tiny mighty dust.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely put a beating on the motor. I mean, I've sucked.
Yeah, it's probably time to go through now.
Pounds of dirt through the.
Well, okay. This year, last year, this time, me and Brett were driving out here to set up our booth, and they're in their shop. Him and Merlin, you and Merlin are in your shop, and the car's not running right, and they're determining there's aluminum actually coming out of the cylinder head. And aluminum powder, coming out of the cylinder head. So they're thinking of melted piston.
Yeah,
right?
we thought we melted the
So
piston.
next thing I see is live on Facebook, Steve's tearing our motor apart. You're going to take it apart and see what's up with it. And you know, I'm kind of like, oh man, what are we going to see in here? We're driving down the road, and he gets the head off, and there's a little round disc of aluminum that looked like it's been ran over by a train.
Yeah,
flattened like a pancake.
It was mashed so many times that it was starting to, like, you could almost, like tinfoil, almost pull it apart.
And sitting in there, and everybody's looking at it, and I'm live on the thing looking, and I was there for the Destroyer build, and I remember the guy, I don't know who, one of the guys in the shop that was doing the intercooler on the back, and I remember him cutting the holes in the hole saw in the intercooler out, and I'm like, man, that looks like a piece of aluminum, perfect hole, you know, perfect round flat piece of aluminum. And I say that on the Facebook thing, and sure enough, Merlin and Steve both at the same time look back at the intercooler, and they're like, that's exactly what that is.
I mean, the intercooler sits clear on the back of the car, and it actually sucked it into the intake. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that day I just put new brakes on it, so I was burning them in. So I had my foot on the brake and the throttle, and I'm just getting it hot, you know, getting the brakes hot. Well, I get down by Floyd Mayweather's gym.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of dudes standing out there, so I'm like, I'm gonna give these guys a show. So I hold the brake down. I just start getting a bunch of, and as soon as I let off the brake and I put a bunch of boost in the motor, ting, 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 I'm like, oh, dude, I just cracked the piston.
Yeah.
Well, that's when we took it back to the shop, pulled the head off it, and it sucked that aluminum past the valve in on top of the piston.
And it was just getting beat up.
So I'm like, oh, great. Now what? So we pull it off.
And we're on Facebook.
Yeah, we looked down at the piston, and we're like, this ain't too bad. I go, let's.
I send the gasket out next day air.
Yeah,
you slap the head back on, and here we are still.
Exactly.
You went to a show that day.
I cleaned the piston up, and we threw it back together. And dude, today I can go fire it up right now. And it runs.
And so that's awesome.
I mean, it's been a hell of a ride.
Yep.
And the fun with industrial and the things that we've been through over the last 10 years has been pretty epic.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride for sure. And your shop down there is just awesome. You keep improving it, and you've got tours going through there. And if you're ever in Vegas, man, you got to get over to Welderup and check out their shop.
If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's Welderup Vegas on Instagram. Get on there. If you want to come do a private tour, I myself do the private tours in Justin every Friday.
That's awesome.
So, I know a lot of guys, you go to these tours and you're like expecting to see the dude, and he's got other people doing the tour.
Yeah.
I try to work real hard at like spending a day during the week to try to tour people around, and you can come in and see the cars and
all the cars that are on TV, they're in the shop. Most of them, some of them go to their people, but a lot of them you build for yourself and for the people, and you get to see them and get in them and check them out and stuff like that. And they're just the craftsmanship and the workmanship in those things are. I'm telling you, the TV doesn't do them justice.
They really don't. I mean, when the people show up, they're like, I can't believe how much detail's actually in the car. I didn't see that on TV.
Exactly.
But, we film 150 hours of film for 43 minutes of TV.
Right,
so they're going to take what they want and make it what it is. And, I guess that's just TV.
So let's talk about this motor back here, this common rail. We need to get away from the 12 valves and get a common rail in something.
I'm sure we can figure out.
That's about 1,500 horsepower, and
I think load that up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we put that right in the D-rod today.
Right now.
We could probably get a crowd around us.
That would be nasty. You know what? If we were on our game and this thing wasn't about over, we should have pulled that one out, threw this one in, and went and made a pass with it.
Yeah.
How cool would that have been?
Yeah, we'll have to think about that. 2020 UCC.
Yeah, maybe UCC
Watch
will come do something fun like that. Do a little trade out and go race it.
Yeah.
So be fun.
Well, awesome, Steve. Thank you for taking some time and talking with us.
And everybody.
Can't wait to see what the future holds for everybody.
Oh well, it's good stuff, man. Right on. Thanks, guys.